Have you ever made a decision that made complete sense on paper and still fell apart? You thought it through. You weighed the options. You were logical, careful, responsible, and it still did not work out the way you planned. Or maybe the opposite. Our Father opened a door that made no sense to you at the time. You could not see the logic. You could not connect the dots, but you walked through it anyway, and it turned out to be exactly where you needed to be. Both of those experiences point to the same truth, and it is captured in one of the most beloved passages in all of Scripture. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Most people have heard this verse. It shows up on wall art, in graduation cards, in Sunday sermons. But familiarity can be the enemy of depth. So today we are going to slow down and actually look at what this passage is asking of you, because it is asking something significant, and the reward it promises is even greater than most people realize. Proverbs was written largely by Solomon, and Solomon is a fascinating person to receive wisdom from, because he had more of everything than almost anyone in history. More wealth, more wisdom, more access, more influence, and yet the book he left behind is not about how to accumulate more. It is about how to live well, how to orient your life around something that does not shift. Proverbs 3:5 opens with 4 words that are deceptively simple. Trust in the Lord. That sounds easy, but the Hebrew word used here, batach, means to throw yourself on something, to lean your full weight on it, the way you lean against a wall. It is not passive agreement. It is active dependence. And then it says, with all your heart. Not part of your heart. Not when it is convenient, or when the circumstances make it easy. All of it. That includes the parts that are afraid, the parts that want to stay in control, the parts that have been hurt before and are not sure they can afford to trust again. All of it. Our Father is not asking for your highlight reel. He is asking for your whole heart. Then comes the part that is harder than it sounds. Lean not on your own understanding. This is where most of us struggle, because our understanding is all we have access to. We can only see what we can see. We can only know what we know. And from inside our limited view, it is very natural to trust our own logic, our own read of a situation, our own plan, our own timeline. But Proverbs is gently and firmly saying, your understanding has a ceiling, and our Father's does not. Leaning on your own understanding is like navigating a city using a map of only one block. You might be reading your block perfectly and still have no idea where you actually are in the bigger picture. That is not an insult to your intelligence. It is just the reality of being human. We see in part, our Father sees in full. And trusting Him means being willing to act on what He sees, even when it does not fully line up with what we see. Verse 6 gives us the practical step. In all your ways, submit to Him. The word submit here in Hebrew is yada, which actually means to acknowledge, to recognize, to bring our Father into every area of your life and say, I see you here. I want your input here. I am not moving through this without you. Not just in the big decisions, not just when the crisis hits. In all your ways, the ordinary Tuesday, the conversation you are about to have, the choice that feels too small to pray about. All of it. And the promise at the end of verse 6 is this: He will make your paths straight. Straight does not always mean easy, but it means purposeful. It means you are actually going somewhere, that the steps you are taking are leading you toward something our Father has prepared, even when the road does not look the way you expected it to. Here is what this passage is really asking you to let go of. Control. The illusion of it anyway. We spend so much energy trying to manage outcomes, trying to see far enough ahead that nothing catches us off guard, trying to build enough security around ourselves that we never have to feel exposed or uncertain. And it is exhausting, because no matter how much we plan, life has a way of reminding us that we were never really in control to begin with. Proverbs 3:5-6 is not asking you to stop thinking or stop planning. Our Father gave you a mind, and He expects you to use it. What it is asking is that after you have thought it through, after you have done what you can do, you open your hands, you release the outcome. You trust the one who can see the parts of the story you cannot. That is not weakness. That is one of the most mature, courageous things a person can do. Think about the moments in your life where things worked out in a way you never could have engineered yourself. The unexpected connection that led to an opportunity. The plan that fell apart and forced you onto a better path. The prayer that God answered differently than you asked and turned out to be exactly what you needed. Those are not coincidences. That is our Father making paths straight in ways your understanding alone could never have mapped out. He has been doing it your whole life, and He is doing it right now, even in the situation you are not sure about, even in the season that does not make sense yet. Even in the waiting that feels like nothing is moving. Trust the process. Trust the one running it. So what does Proverbs 3:5-6 look like in practice? How do you actually live this? Start with prayer before decisions, not after. Before you run the logic, before you call the friend, before you open the spreadsheet, bring it to our Father first. Not because He needs the information. He already has it. But because that act of bringing it to Him first is what submission looks like. It is you saying, I want you in this. I want your way, not just mine. Then hold your plans loosely. Make them, work them, give them your full effort, but hold them with open hands, because our Father may redirect you. He may close a door you were sure was the right one. And when that happens, trust that He is not taking something from you. He is protecting you from something, or leading you towards something better. And when the path looks unclear, and it will, go back to what you know. You know His character. You know His track record in your life. You know that He has been faithful before. Let that be enough to take the next step, even when you cannot see the one after it. Trusting our Father with all your heart does not mean you have no more questions. It does not mean the uncertainty disappears. It means that underneath the uncertainty, there is something steady, a foundation that does not move, even when everything on top of it does. Proverbs 3:5-6 is an invitation to stop white-knuckling your life and start walking it with our Father. To stop carrying the weight of figuring everything out and start trusting the one who already has it figured out. Your understanding is valuable, but it has limits. His does not. Lean on Him. Acknowledge Him in every step, and watch what He does with a life that is fully submitted to His direction. The path He makes straight is better than anything you could have mapped out on your own. That is not a promise made lightly. That is Proverbs 3:6, and it has never been wrong.